Hello everyone, my name is the Chemist77 and welcome to episode 16 of Farming Minecraft. Now today, I'm very excited about today. I've been waiting to build this contraption, I'd say more than a farm, for quite a while now. And you will have heard me going on about it probably towards the end of the last few videos. But yeah, so today we're going to be building a gravity block duper using the end portal, and I have almost everything I need in here. If I bring up the material list, what I'm missing is mangrove stairs and stripped mangrove logs. Now I've not actually found a mangrove swamp yet in this world, but I don't need to. You see, a few weeks ago, there was a wandering trader outside, and he was selling mangrove propagules. So I bought one. So this here is how we're going to get our mangrove wood. So all I have to do is fly somewhere. Sure, let's go here. Plant it. Bone meal it. Oh, I've landed in some roots. And then, yeah, harvest it. Of course, want to make sure that I do this first. I'll get a few of these, and yeah, once I have few propagules and all of the wood that I need, then we can go to the end portal and do a little bit of prep work first. Okay, and with that, we should have everything we need. Yep. So the obsidian is the obsidian platform. Water is obviously water, and then the shulker boxes are all in here. And let me tell you, it took me a long time to get these shulker yeah. Now as I come out here, you may notice there's been some decoration done on the house. Added some bushes and a bit of glow lichen. And that's pretty much it, but to be honest, it adds a decent amount more to it. It's just a little bit more depth to the build, which I'm really pleased with it. We've got some visitors over there. But yeah, so I did that on the stream, along with a few other bits. Got some more netherite to upgrade some more tools and get some more lodestones. Just things like that. So when I stream, it'll usually either be resource gathering or just like odd jobs around. I also fixed the mob farm because I'd done I'd made a few mistakes and stuff on that because I wanted to get bones from skeletons as well. So yeah, but not everything I do on stream will get featured in the videos. So if you want to see everything that gets done in this world, then do follow me on twitch.tv if you want to know what's going on with that. Now, as we come here to the end portal, you may notice that I've done a bit of digging. Before I stop to realise I should probably do it in the video. Otherwise, it just suddenly appears a big gaping hole at the end portal. So, yeah. Now, why am I digging? Well, if I turn on my schematic rendering... there we go. If I turn on my schematic rendering, we can see it's rather large. So, what I've got to do is basically dig out the entire end portal room. And yeah, now as you can see, we've got some end portal frames here, but they shouldn't be there. We need to get rid of those somehow. And once I've cleared out this room, we can do it. Spoiler alert, it uses red mushrooms. So a few episodes ago, we were using brown mushrooms to farm slime. And now we're going to be using red mushrooms to delete end portal frames, essentially. But yeah, so I'm gonna dig out this room and yeah, catch you guys when I'm ready to get rid of these. Okay, and there we go. One large room dug out. If you're interested, want to build this yourself, this room is 19 by 19, centered on the end portal, and then it's 12 blocks high. So we've got 4 blocks below the end portal and 7 blocks above the end portal, and then obviously the block for the end portal itself. The next thing we need to do before we can start building anything is get rid of these portal frame blocks. And so to do that, we're going to need 3 things. We're going to need some podzol, or mycelium, works just as well, some red mushrooms, and quite a bit of bone meal. So I'm going to go grab some of those bits and meet you back here. Okay, so now that I have some podzol, mushrooms, and bones to make bone meal, what we want to do is we want to come down from the center block on the end portal and then come out 2 blocks. So we go down and then 1, 2. Place a temporary block here, and then we want a bit of podzol on top of that. Then we need to place, I believe it's 7 blocks on top of this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's because we need to limit the growth of the mushrooms, otherwise they will grow above the end portal. Let me just check that I have, left that top block there. So then, if we make some bone meal, probably going to need a bit more than that, because this does use quite a lot because we're limiting the growth of the mushrooms. We plant that, and then bone meal it. We should find that some mushroom blocks have gone where you should see the end portal frame. And we can get rid of those, and lo and behold, we're going to free cam to show from above that there is no end portal frame. So yeah, just one thing you might want to note is don't do this with an empty end portal, because once you've got rid of these, there's no getting them back, unless you reset the chunks. Yeah, don't do this before you've activated the end portal, otherwise you're in a little bit of trouble. So yeah, so we're just going to do this on the other 3 sides, and then we will be ready to start building the farm. Okay, well, it used, well, nowhere near as much bone meal as I originally thought it would. But yeah, here we have, and it's really weird to look at, but an end portal with no portal frame. And if you didn't want to build a gravity block duper, then you can just create custom end portal frames, you know, do a little something like that. If you go on my Instagram at thechemist77, you'll be able to see a build that I have done previously where I built a custom tower around the end portal and did a fun little frame around that. Anyway, if I turn our schematic rendering on and go to all below, we're going to build this up layer by layer. And I'm going to do this sort of a module at a time. I'm going to sort of show you a bit more detail, one module, and then just build up the rest and then show you the finished thing, because it's a bit hard to see from down here. If I come up, what we have here is just 4 of the same thing on each side of the end portal. I'm going to show you how to build one first. Yeah, once we've built this first thing, we can then build up the collection system on the end side. So, let's grab some materials. We're going to need slabs, a bit of redstone dust, repeaters, some slime, pistons, blocks, some glazed terracotta, and I think that's probably mostly it from now. So, I don't want to do it on the side that's got the ladder on, okay, yeah. So, if we start here, we'll go right down layer by layer. So we're going to start with 3 top half slabs here. Technically these can be 4 blocks as well, wherever I've got slabs. I just use slabs because it's less material. Yeah, so this is 1 away from the wall here. We go up a layer, we've got a full block there. some redstone dust, a repeater at 8 ticks delay. And so that is one thing I will mention when I talk about repeater settings. I'll talk about it in game ticks as opposed to redstone ticks. One redstone tick is just 2 game ticks. So whereas a repeater will have 1, 2, 3, 4 redstone ticks, I will refer to it as 2, 4, 6, 8 game ticks, just for future reference. The other thing to note is where I say full block here, these must be full blocks because these need to conduct a redstone power. So you can see we have a redstone block, redstone repeater pointing into this block here. This has to be a full solid block. So it can't be a slab and it can't be something like glass. Just something else to mention. But yeah. And then after that, we're going to have 3 slabs. Going up a layer, we've got a piece of redstone dust here. Redstone dust all the way along here. A solid block just there. And I accidentally jumped into the end. That's the other thing you have to be careful of when you're building this. Hang on a second. Yeah, that is why I would recommend as well setting your spawn in the little stronghold room here, just in case you do that, because it will happen. it's just a fact. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna have 3 more top half slabs, 2 there and 1 just off to the side there. And it may be good to have some scaffolding on you as well, just because sometimes it can be a little bit awkward getting around and up. Anyway, next we are going to have a full block there, a redstone torch, which I haven't brought, just there, a repeater there, a redstone dust there, and that's going to create a clock going. Don't worry about that for now, we'll sort that out later. A full block and a slab like that, and then a repeater there. Now this repeater should be turned on, however it's not at the minute because if we look up here, there's just a simple redstone torch tower. Like that. I'm going to put some of the glazed terracotta in, and because I like to, I'm going to make sure it's facing the right way so it doesn't say it's in the wrong state. Like so. Now, if we continue up a layer, we'll have a redstone torch on top of here, which is going to be flashing again because of the clock. Some redstone dust here. A sticky piston here. Now, if you want to place this, you might want to stand on top of the glazed terracotta here. Because of the tweakeroo I have, I can place things in all the different orientations with a few hotkeys. Then we're going to have some slime, free slime on top of this piston. And I will say, these blocks here, these do need to be glazed terracotta or honey or obsidian or just something that doesn't stick to slime, because these slime blocks are going to be moving forwards and backwards. You can see I've also missed a load of stuff here. So we're going to put a sticky piston on there, and then like that, and like that. Oh dear. Yeah, so that's just going to be going off like that, and then we move up to the next layer. We will see we have a full block there. You can see this is where it starts to get a little bit awkward to move around. I'm just going to reposition my scaffolding to the end here. And then we're going to have a redstone torch there, which should stop the clock. Like so. And then we're going to have 3 solid blocks up there. And I'm just going to double check I've not missed anything over here. Nope. Good. I'm going to place a bit more scaffolding down so I can get up more. And then we go to the next layer. 2 bits of redstone dust. Another bit there. And we want a solid block there. A redstone repeater set to 4 ticks delay. And then 3 pistons facing down here. Again, I'm using tweakeroo to make them face down. you may want to stand again on the glazed terracotta. Now if we go up another layer, see again, we have a full block just there. A redstone torch on the side. This is again going to set the clock off because it inverts the signal. A redstone dust there and a full block there, and that's going to set these pistons going. And you can sort of see how this is going to end up working. Anyway, if we go up another level, it should just be that redstone dust there. And then if we go up one more level, I'm going to place... Whoops. Oh, I don't have the glass on me. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to place white stained glass there. And then we have a solid block there and a redstone torch on there. And that should stop the clock. Very nice. Then it's just a case of a few slabs. And because it's the first one, I'm going to fill in this middle bit. Like so. We go up another layer. Place a solid block there. With redstone all around. And redstone all the way along. And then lastly, a lever there, which again I've forgotten to bring with me. There we go. And so, if I turn my rendering off, this is it. This is all there is to the gravity block Duper. It looks complicated, but it's actually relatively small. But yeah, so once we've got a chunk loader going, which creates almost sort of like a mini spawn chunks almost. It creates a little grid of chunks that the game will keep loaded. It'll load mobs, it'll load redstone. Or entities, I should say, not mobs. Because I guess mobs count as entities. But yeah. Which means that our gravity block Duper contraption will still be working even if we come through here. Anyway, I'm going to build up the rest of the contraption. I'm also going to build a trunk loader, and then we can see it working. Okay, and we are back. Finished building the farm. I've moved the portal up here, and I have added a chunk loader. Now, if you didn't know, whenever an entity goes through another portal, it loads an area of chunks around it. I'll go in a bit more detail in a future episode, because I'll need to build one when I build a nether mob switch. And so what this chunk loader does is it keeps the chunks around this portal loaded. So yeah, we can see all these chunks along here. These will all be loaded, which means all the redstone and whatnot will still work even when I'm in the end. But yeah, so we've built the Duper, and I should say this design it's not by me, but I sort of pieced it together from like other people's videos, mainly the SciCraft lot, so people like Elmango. So they sort of get the credit for coming up with the original designs. I sort of found a few that from like older versions, I think like 1.12 or 1.14, that obviously got fixed, and playing around. So I'll put links to any relevant videos and channels. I find also the chunk loader here is again designed by Elmango. Really nice little sort of small design, and you can turn it on and off just with this lever here. So again, I'll put a link to the chunk loader in the description. Yeah. But now what we need to do is go over to the end and build a collection system. I'm going to quickly tidy myself up here and then head through. One thing to make sure as well is don't use the portal whilst the chunk loader is on. Otherwise, you'll pick up the item that's being used as the chunk loader. You don't want to do. Okay, so as we briefly saw before, and I'll show again once we've finished, when the blocks come through here, they end up going flinging out to the side, which makes collection a little bit difficult. What also makes collection a little bit difficult is the fact that we can't build anything on this platform. Because every time the end gets loaded, which happens every time an entity goes through the end portal, this whole shape gets reset. And I can show this by if I place some blocks around in here. And then if I come back through and I've respawned here, bear with me. Here we go. So we have the blocks on the other side that I placed on the obsidian platform. Now what happens if when I go through is they disappear. They just get deleted out of existence. They don't drop as items. They just go. So we can't build anything on this platform. So what we do instead is this. Now, falling blocks will only land as a block if they land on a solid surface. So that's either a full block or a top slab or a top half trapdoor. So yeah, if they land on something that's not a full block, for example, what we have here, a half slab, they will pop into item form. And again, I'll show it at the end when I show it working. What that means is, and you'll see here, on each of the 4 sides that the sand blocks will come out, and I'm going to need to get rid of this spruce plank walkway because it's smack bang in the way. These will catch the gravity blocks, so sand, concrete powder, gravel, whatever. They will then fall down, and if I go into the solid rendering, you can see it a bit better. Land on this top or bottom half slab, pop into item form, and then they'll just get flushed over into this water stream, which, like we've seen before with the honey and sort of half hopper, will just continue going round in a loop until they get picked up by the relevant item filters. And you can see that's where all the shulker boxes get used. So I've got coloured shulker boxes for the different concrete powders, and then I'll have probably gravel here, and then sand and red sand here. As you can see, I've got a nice little pattern on the floor. So I'm going to build this, and then I'm going to go make some concrete powders and get some sand and red sand, which red sand might be a bit of a trek because I don't know if I brought any back from the mesa. And then we can turn it on, which will be very exciting. So let's jump into a time lapse, get this thing built up, and I will see you once I have finished. Okay, there we go. All built up. This is actually a day after the previous clip when we just finished the actual duping machine. Um, yeah, so this is now fully built, and as you can see from all the glowing comparators, I have started filling in the filters. There's just one here that I need to do, and this is for red sand. So you can see I've got all my different color concrete powders that I've made, and so we need 4 red sand, 16 filler items. I'm using sticks that I renamed to filler. You don't have to use renamed items. You could use something like really obscure. I mean, if you wanted to, you could use diamonds. But having it renamed just ensures that nothing should fall in unless you regularly carry around sticks named filler, which I don't. But anyway, so if I pop in the last little filter there, and then tidy myself back up, I can take our little box of powder, and if I head back through the portal just over here, there's a zombified piglin on my bed. Hello. Yes. Anyway, so I've got myself a little barrel. I'm just gonna... Actually, I think that way up. Let's place it that way up. Then I'm gonna put all of the concrete powders in. And then obviously we have sand and gravel at the end. And red sand. There we go. And now basically all we need to do is put whatever blocks we want to duplicate on the slime blocks and start it off. So let's take... So we've got 12 slots. So I'm going to take 9... Well, the first 9 coloured concrete powders. Oops. And then our gravel sand and red sand, I think. And you could do multiple ones of each. This one does just about handle all 12 filled up with one type of block. But honestly, just doing like 4 different types, one on each side works well. Or even like half and half works just as well. But yeah, if you're really desperately in need of one concrete powder, say if you need loads of white, then you can just chuck 12 white in there and turn it on. So what I'm going to do is turn on our chunk loader there. You can see the item popping out and then coming back through. So that'll keep all of this loaded. Whoops. Then if I turn this on, come down here, jump in, and we can now see that we have all different concrete powders come flying out. So it's a bit easier to see than what I showed before. So they come flying out, they get caught by these glass blocks, and then the items break on the slabs, and then we can see they just get flung round, line up against this honey block, and if I can find... there we go, we can start to see some of the filters just filling up as the comparator signal strength increases. Obviously they're not all at 2 yet because I didn't fully fill up the filter, just chucked one of each item in. And yeah, but that is the gravity block duper. And I did check since yesterday. How this works is if I fly back through to the actual contraption. Yes, so I did check since yesterday that how the duplicating works is, yeah, as soon as the falling block entity comes into contact with the portal, it also becomes like a full block. So the entity gets sent through the portal, but the block gets caught on the slime. Yeah. And there are a few more things to note. back in the end dimension. If it generates. Oh no, 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 no. What? What? Huh. That's less than ideal. At least I have an ender chest here. Ah, that's. Anyway, what I was going to say before I don't even know what happened there. I'm gonna have to watch that back. I have no clue what happened. I think I must have gone through at the exact same time as the entities. Which obviously any time that it goes through, it reloads the whole platform. I have no idea. But I must have just, yeah, I must have gone through as it was reloading and then just fallen straight through the floor. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, few things to note. I've completely lost my train of thought now. One, make sure you jump through and be ready to start flying. That'll be one thing. Something else. I just lit up the end island over this side just so I don't get Enderman teleporting into here. Yeah, I mean it's not so much of a problem because I've got an end spawn island that's generated so far out of the 10 hitboxes off, so far out of the main end island. But if you've got one that's generated inside Endstone, then you're gonna want to sort of make sure that you don't get Enderman spawning too nearby. Yeah. The other thing is, if you wanted to, you could find another end portal and build another gravity block duper, and have 2 gravity block dupers going at once, and that way you could have at least one of everything duplicating at the same time. The danger is clearly with the reloading the end, you might fall through. Well, that's not quite how I wanted to end up finishing this episode, but yeah, actually, I will do. I'm all thrown out of sorts now. Material lists, if you want to build these yourselves. So the actual duper, there's all the materials there. One thing to note as well with the actual duper is you do need 4 more glass, because I accidentally made the schematic with 4 glass missing just in the middle. So yeah, and then if you want to copy the collection system that I built here, I won't mouse over every item because there's quite a few, but I'll just scroll down slowly so you guys can see what you need. The other thing is with this is I did use an extra stack of stripped spruce. You might be able to see if I, no you can't. I put an extra stack of spruce just underneath where the shulker boxes are, so when you break them, which you can actually do with your fist, you didn't know, they shouldn't fall into the void. Although maybe I should have put something behind the hoppers as well. I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. That's not ideal, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed it, and please do catch in the next one. I stream every Saturday, which should be the day that this video comes out. Most likely this week I'll be re-gearing up, or I might do it off camera. So, we'll see. That's a way to come to the end of an episode, isn't it? Oh well. I will leave you with this very satisfying view of coloured bits of concrete powder exploding on some slabs. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye!